Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher.
Well, I start my adventure today on this track, and we're going to follow the route that a World War I hero took to Scratchbury Camp, a really fantastic hill fort. And this is such a fantastic route, you wouldn't believe it. And we'll talk about the hero as we go and what his contribution was in general to everything in the area. It's amazing. So come with me and we'll have a good time. No hat today, too warm. Well, you can see this ancient wooded track, and this war hero would come here either on his horse or sometimes walking and taking this route here onto the plain. But what a fantastic ancient trail this is, with all the roots and everything all across here. Amazing. Just coming out the top of the ancient trail now, and immediately here we are on the edge of Salisbury Plain. What a magnificent landscape that is. Truly spectacular. And we're going to be heading off in the direction of the trees over there and going through those and heading towards Scratchbury Camp. So with the plain behind me here, we're actually following the route of Siegfried Lorraine Sassoon, a World War I hero given the Service Cross in 1916, and he was nicknamed by his troops as Mad Jack, and he lived in Heytesbury, which is the area that we've come from. I'll put on the what 3 words location of that, and then would come up here on his horse or walking. His general leisure was in this area, and it is just a fantastic place, and I'm hoping I can get something from this route. And he wrote a poem about Scratchbury Hillfort. And coming up here, the first thing I notice is all these dandelions. Look at them. I saw a load at Avebury the other week, but here, amazing, isn't it? Must be dandelion year this year. And this landscape is certainly very inspiring. So you can see Salisbury Plain stretched out there, on around through the dandelions we walked up and out towards Codford direction there. But amazing. So this route would have been taken by Siegfried, and he was a truly exceptional man. From a point of view, he was a war hero, and it really pushed him over the edge. But a lot of the poems that he wrote were very symbolic and taken on by people in general because they told about the horrors of war. Well, we come out of the short section of trees and carry on going up, and we can see we've got 2 different types of crop planted here. And obviously one thing that I often forget to remember is that rape and rapeseed oil was brought over by the Romans. So isn't that quite an incredible crop, and we still grow it today? So carry on this way. Walking these areas is truly idyllic, and you can imagine them on horseback with a World War I poet who was a hero. Yes, but also too, he was very friendly with Winston Churchill. He was one of Winston Churchill's closest friends. Incredible. There are several Round Barrows up here, and this is the first one that we're coming up to on our route. And Salisbury Plain archaeology now are very up with things and looking into everything all the time. And you can see this sign here with the star and the shovel. It means you mustn't disturb it. It's a historic monument. But there's a little path going up over the top, so we'll get onto here and see what view the ancients would have had, or possibly Siegfried on his horse, who knows. And there we are. Amazing, you can see Clay Hill there in the distance. Siegfried's buried in Mells in Somerset, and that was because a lot of his friends, socialite friends and other friends, were buried there as well. So another one of the signs here, ancient monument, do not disturb. Bit more advanced, this one, being an aluminium star there. Must cost more to make, so they've gone for the cheaper signs. But down in here, obviously there's some ancient quarrying. I would think this is an ancient quarry where they dug the flints and things from. So we'll go and have a look down in here very quickly on our way. I don't know if Siegfried would have done this, possibly not. But we'll have a look. Oh, there's something there crawling around in the grass like a little mole. And always something that you find in these places. And look, farmers chuck this old piece of equipment down here. I don't know what that equipment is. It obviously fits to a tractor or something. If you know, please comment. So anyway, we get an idea of the chalk and the strata here, and if you look, you can see that they would have quarried down in here for chalk. So as I've sat down on the quarry stone now, so why do this? Well, the thing is that you can truly experience a history and gauge why this poem was written, because it's such an impressive area, beautiful in its own right naturally, but would have been a hive of activity back in Neolithic times and Bronze Age, Iron Age times as well. And all that sort of puts a feeling into the place. I can't explain it, but it's definitely there. I hope you take me seriously because I haven't got my hat on. Anyway, let's carry on. Leave the quarrying area. There's another 2 Round Barrows here. So 1942 was Britain's darkest hour, and Siegfried, seeing the horrors of World War I and surviving them too, unlike a lot of his friends and colleagues, he came back. Then, writing about these as he did in World War I, but then World War II comes along and still things aren't sorted out. We head across and down this trail here, and you can see where the path goes, and it lines us up with the actual gateway, or the Iron Age gateway into Scratchbury Camp. So we're going to walk on and take that, I think. So if you look up June 1942, there wasn't a lot to be optimistic about at all, and at least we've got optimism these days, and it seemed like the end of the world was coming to some of these people. And especially with Siegfried's experience, you can understand why he gained so much pleasure from walking this route. And here's the gateway into Scratchbury Hillfort. Which we'll go through. So as I stand here, the main gateway into the Hillfort, there were several, but this is the main one from the side that Siegfried would have come. I can imagine how it may have looked, but I don't really know. Here we are on top of the ramparts. We go up in the region of nearly 40 feet in some places, but I think it's about 30 odd foot here. And it's easy to see why it's so inspiring when you come up here. Just walking our modern day privilege on these ramparts. Casting my eyes around, there's the round barrow I did on my video when I came up here before, Hillfort, made famous by a poem, which it was in its time. Back to where we came in. So what have I learned from my trip today? Well, the main thing is I've learned that the environment inspires us more than anything else. And it also inspired Neolithic man, Bronze Age man, and on from there Iron Age, and right the way in over every generation really. So the environment is the main factor in 100% of everything, I'm sure. Down in the bottom of the ramparts, on what to all intents and purposes is a summer's day, read Siegfried's poem if you can, and get a feeling for it before you come up here. And come from the Heytesbury direction is brilliant. I think I'm going to name it the Sassoon Walk. I think that'd be good, wouldn't it? On Scratchbury Camp by Siegfried Sassoon. Along the grave green downs this idle afternoon, shadows of loitering silver clouds becalmed in blue bring like unfoldment of a flower the best of June. Shadows outspread in spacious movement, always you dappled the downs and valleys at this time of the year, while larks ascending shrill praised freedom as they flew. Now through that song a fighter squadron's drone I hear, from Scratchbury Camp whose turfed and cow-slicked rampart seems more hill than history, ageless and oblivion blurred. I walk the fosse, once manned by bronze and flint-head spear. On war's impervious wing the shafted sun-ray gleams, one with the warm sweet air of summer stoops the bird. Cloud shadows drifting slow like headless daylight dreams, dwell and dissolve, uncircumstanced they pause and pass. I watch them go, my horse contented crops the grass. Park in the village, it's a steady route and not too challenging. I'm not a historian, I'm a guy with an interest in history. I live locally, I have fun, and that's it really. So, until the next time, goodbye.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine.